the final game in Cincinnati. It is beginning to feel a little bit more like spring here this afternoon. Some warm weather for the first time here against the Reds. It's the rubber game. Final game of a three-game series. The Mariners and the Cincinnati Reds from Great American Ballpark. Glad as always you're with us. Aaron Goldsmith alongside Angie Mentink. And Angie, last night just really kind of a nice all-around team win for the Mariners.
Yeah, it's really hard to pinpoint what I like most about last night's game. Bryce Miller was fantastic, touching 97 on the gun, 8 punch-outs. They hit well with runners in scoring position, something they kind of struggled with. They threw a runner out of the plate, stole bases. I'm just going to say D, all of the above.
Yeah, it was really nice, and now sets up a chance for a series win today. There were some big moments in last night's game for the Mariners, specifically from the Mariners catcher, our T-Mobile coverage cam. What a night it was for Cal Raleigh.
For a switch hitter, it's hard to have your swing from both sides really locked in, but what he did again, leaving the yard from both sides of the plate, not just hitting from both sides of the plate, but leaving the yard from both sides of the plate, absolutely ridiculous. 4th time he's done that. Only 2 catchers have done it more in the history of the game. And then he goes and flaunts his athleticism with this absolutely crazy play. A friend back in Seattle said this was like Tom Cruise grabbing the gun off the ground and being completely horizontal. And shout out to Rowdy Tellez with his footwork on the other side. But Cal Raleigh, I mean, how do you do it?
Yeah, awesome night for Cal Raleigh, his 100th career home run as well. A change in the rotation for the Mariners. Emerson Hancock will start today. We'll talk about that coming up in a little bit. We are getting closer. First pitch, the Mariners and the Reds here in Cincinnati on Root Sports.
First pitch sent to deep center. Julio!
Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your local Ford dealer, home of the F-150, America's best-selling truck for 48 years. And by Emerald Queen Casino, 2 iconic R&B legends, one amazing night. Jeffrey Osborne with special guest Will Downing come to Emerald Queen Casino May 22nd. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. final day in Cincinnati, the first leg of this fairly lengthy three-city East Coast road swing. Our Miller Lite moment. This was a big play in last night's game.
It was huge, and everything had to go right for Luke Raley, and he does it all. Do or die. You have to field this on the run. You have to time your steps out, field it off to the side, no wasted steps. Look at this, the arm swing perfectly from field it, get your arm back, make a one-hop throw, something Cal can make an easy tag to. It was really well done by Luke Raley, and again, no wasted steps. He takes steps out there, the base runners taking steps on the base pass, and that would be the difference in a bang-bang play.
Well, the Mariners have been running wild so far this year. 5 stolen bases in this series already. Second most stolen bases in baseball so far this year. Might we see more running today? Deciding game of this 3-game series. Mariners and the Reds coming up on Root Sports.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Commission, always drive sober and wear your seatbelt. We all play a role in keeping our roads safe. And by T-Mobile, with America's largest 5G network, T-Mobile is your ticket to the game. Mariners and the Reds for the final time this season. Here's what it looks like for manager Dan Wilson. Good to see Jorge Polanco in there once again today with a right-hander up on the mound. Cal Raleigh, a couple of home runs last night. All he's been doing lately is hitting home runs. Meanwhile, Dylan Moore batting 7th. He's had a monster series. 4 RBIs, 4 runs scored. He's homered twice already. Mastrobuoni gets the start at third base. Williamson gets the day off. And J.P. Crawford batting 9th at shortstop as usual. Brady Singer, former first-round draft pick by the Kansas City Royals. We saw him for many years there at Kauffman Stadium. First year with the Reds, and the season so far, Ange, off to a nice start. Yeah,
he's pitching really well, Aaron. Off to a 3-0 start for the first time in his career. One thing that has really helped him is the offense. They have come through for him. They have scored 30 runs in his 3 starts. It kind of makes things a little bit easier as well.
Here's what he features. StatCast powered by Google Cloud. A better look at his arsenal.
He's going to lead with the sinker. He's also got a slider. So almost a 2-pitch mix between those 2 pitches. Occasionally you'll see that cutter. And lastly, the 4-seam fastball. He has been throwing the cutter more to lefties. And often that pitch is going to start on the inner third and break off of the plate in on their hands.
A little different look for Terry Francona today with a day game following a night game. Lux, you never know where he's going to be. Today he's at second base. Santiago Espinal gets his first start of the series. He's on the hot corner at third. And Candelario, the veteran switch hitter, at first base. There is Julio leading things off for the Mariners. And the first pitch over the plate for strike one. Singer's red debut was very good. He went 7 scoreless. That was against the Texas Rangers. He struck out 8 in his 2 starts since then. He's got 5 innings both times, 3 runs allowed each outing. Ahead of Julio, 0-2. Julio strikes out to begin the ball game.
Again, he's got that sinker slider mix. He throws back-to-back sliders, and this one just starts on the outer third and breaks off of the plate, and Julio can't allow that to travel deep enough to make contact.
Jorge Polanco ropes this to right field, but it's flagged down in front of the warning track by Fraley. That was nearly 110 off the bat from Jorge. That brings up Cal Raleigh. Today's Getting It Done presented by the Home Depot. 100th career home run last night, second fastest to 100 homers in franchise history, and in a very Cal Raleigh type of way, he did it by homering from both sides of the plate, which is pretty cool. 4th time in his career he has done that. Espinal gives this a look, but it's into the crowd. So some milestones recently for Cal. And on the homestand, we saw him, well, first of all, he homered in 3 straight games. He hit that milestone home run to have the most ever by a catcher in franchise history. Now 100.
And the way he gets his 100, he's just the second player in MLB history to homer from both sides of the plate in the same game, with the player's second homer being his 100th career home run.
Pretty fun stuff for Cal.
All of this keeping Alex Mayer up all night last night, coming up with all the notes on Cal.
Nick Hundley was the other, is that right?
You are correct. Todd Hundley. Todd Hundley.
Todd Hundley. 2 balls and a strike. 2 outs.
Also, Alex Mayer, so I'm just going to keep it going, Aaron. That happens to be the exact same day when Hundley did it that Logan Gilbert was born. How does he do it? How does Alex do it?
Especially with a day game the next day. 2-2 coming. And it's a full count. Yeah, so Cal now 5 home runs his last 5 games. Tied for the second most home runs in baseball. He's tied with Aaron Judge. And Cal draws a walk, a 2-out walk for the Mariners. That brings up Randy Arozarena. Some of Cal's family still here in Cincinnati, taking in the Mariners and the Reds. It's off to Toronto after this one today. Mariners will have 3 there and then 3 in Boston to wrap up the road trip. Randy, a really good night last night. On base 4 times. Last night was just kind of a good, solid overall roundabout win for the Mariners. The Reds did make it a little scary late, but the Mariners bullpen able to hold on. A 5-3 win to even the series.
I like the mix that we're seeing right now from Randy. First at bat, the double that ended up scoring Julio, a couple of walks in there, and we keep seeing him take second base. 90 feet, so important, and just a really good night from him.
Falls behind here, a ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs, and Cal at first base. A wave and a miss for out number 3. Couple of strikeouts for Singer, who strands a man. We go to the home first inning. Emerson Hancock getting set to pitch for the Mariners. Terry Francona and De La Cruz, somebody like to keep off the base paths, batting third at shortstop. Hayes and Lux have both had good series. Candelario back in the lineup today. And then Austin Wynns making his first start in the series, backup catcher, batting ninth. Welcome back, Emerson Hancock, making his second start of the season, only the 17th of his young big league career.
So happy that he's getting another shot here. You know, he had the one start and then he was sent down, couldn't get out of the first inning, but easily could have. He's a contact guy. You know that they are going to put the ball in play against him, and they just happen to find a lot of holes.
Yeah, went just 2/3 of an inning in his season debut, breaking camp with the Mariners as their number 5 starter. That was against Detroit at home. This has popped up on a good start for Emerson Hancock. J.P. Crawford right there for out number 1. All right, so it was less than 24 hours ago, Ange, that we were talking about how the Mariners were reslotting their rotation and making it so that Emerson would be pitching on Saturday in Toronto. It would have him avoid pitching here in a very hitter-friendly ballpark. It would also avoid Emerson pitching at Fenway, the last leg of the road trip, another hitter-friendly ballpark, and would slot him for his next turn after Toronto to be home against the Marlins. And no sooner did we say that we learned late last night that that would not be the plan, as it turns out. So Hancock was going to be with the team anyway today to travel north to Toronto. It would be much easier for him just to go with the ball club as opposed to on his own commercially out of the country, as there is a hard out number 2. So he was here already, and the thought process for the Mariners here is kind of a simple one, and that is you're already down 1 starter, Kirby. You've had a second starter, Miller, publicly talk about soreness and impacting his stuff at times this year, although he was very good yesterday. And Dan Wilson had to abbreviate his start, right, just under 80 pitches in 5 innings because of that soreness. We know the rotation is the bedrock of this organization, and the Mariners simply find that the extra day's rest by pushing the rotation back and having Wu go tomorrow in Toronto as opposed to Wu go today, the extra day rest for Wu and Miller in particular, they find to be a greater bonus than having the number 5 starter pitch just 1 time on this road trip. So it's a calculated move by the Mariners, and it kind of speaks to where their mindset is on simply trying to keep this group of players healthy for a 6-month season, which we know is so important.
I think they're playing the long game, and I think it's smart.
So we will see Hancock again at Fenway Park.
Yeah, and the last thing that this team could afford is to have anything happen with Wu or Logan. You know, Wu had a couple of injuries last year, started the season on the IL, had a hamstring problem later. And you know, they've had a heavy load here coming out of the gate. So again, I just really like this decision.
JP has a tick off his glove that caroms over to second base, and Dylan Moore's got no throw. So De La Cruz has himself an infield base hit.
And I think this is really kind of, you know, vintage Emerson Hancock. This is what's going to happen. Every single player so far has put the ball in play. Elly De La Cruz doesn't hit it right at J.P. Crawford. Almost made the play. But this is what didn't happen in his first start, is he didn't, you know, get him a few atom balls.
And truthfully, even if JP had that ball stick in his glove with the way De La Cruz runs, not sure that would have mattered much. It's ball 1 to Austin Hayes. Hayes DHing today for the Reds. Hayes homered in game 1. It was a go-ahead 3-run home run. That was his Reds debut. Good first impression. 2 balls and a strike.
Emerson Hancock throws the changeup there. The pitch before that, we were wondering if we were going to see it, the cutter. It was a pitch that he was working on in the spring, and we did not see that in his first start. And we kind of wondered if that pitch had headed north with the team, but it looks like he's throwing it here early.
Cal able to get a glove on that one. Yeah, the first start for Emerson, there was even worse than it looked on paper because of the timing, right? It was the 5th game of the year, and the Mariners cooked their bullpen that early in the season, and that's why Emerson was optioned down. The Mariners had to get another reliever up after that. Fly ball out to right field. This sends Raley at the wall, and it's gone. Second home run of the series for Austin Hayes, and the Reds have taken a 2-0 lead.
It's just going to be so critical for Emerson Hancock to get ahead. He falls behind Hayes, 3-1 count. He gets to gear up. This pitch left over the middle third of the plate. He stays inside the ball and drives it into the seats in right field. But again, he doesn't have huge strikeout numbers, and strikeouts aren't everything. They are something, though, and through his major league starts in 2024, he was sitting right at 14% strikeout rate. He definitely needs to miss more bats, but more importantly than that, he needs to get ahead.
Yeah, that's well below league average. He's certainly a put the ball in play kind of guy, and especially here, keeping the ball on the ground so critical, if you didn't know that already. Ground ball.
Perfect.
Right on cue. J.P. Crawford's got it. And there is out number 3. Austin Hayes, a 2-run home run, has given the Reds an early lead.
Top of the second inning, Brad Adam with you here at the Ford Sports Desk. Well, the Mariners are certainly off and running this year. 28 stolen bases, leads the league, second in the majors, 28 through 18 games. That is a new team record. 12 different players have stolen a base, and talking with Eric Young Jr., the first base coach, about that, he says it's more than just the times, the tendencies from the pitchers that he looks at. He says he talks to the guys and says you might only get one opportunity, so be ready when you're at first base. And then he also asks the guys how they feel, and he wants an honest answer. He says if they feel fresh, if they feel good, if they're ready to go. A great example is this last homestand. Mitch Garver was on first base, and EY told him, hey, I think you can get this bag. You feel good? And he said, yes, I do. Next pitch, Mitch Garver steals. So it's about the communication and about staying ready. And again, that one opportunity, Aaron, you never know when it's going to be, so you have to be ready when you're on first base and get in the scoring position, of course.
Yeah, even Mitch Garver is getting into the action as we were talking about last night. A number of guys that you wouldn't expect.
I really dig EY's approach. I mean, he is constantly studying a pitcher, film on pitchers, trying to find an advantage.
Covering some ground out there, and the catch is made by Dunn for out number 1.
But it's not just his time from the mound to home, and he was telling me 1.4 sort of, you know, the median, and then some guys can steal on that if he's faster than that, you know, Julio, Randy, and then other guys maybe like a Mitch Garver have to be kind of a 1.6. But the other thing is, it's not just about times and tendencies. The other thing that he is looking at is like the catcher. And I mean, I just love this, and it's fascinating. Sometimes, you know, a catcher will start to go into the same stance for the pitch that he's receiving. So if you know, hey, every single time he's throwing that changeup, he gets out into that kickstand stance, you know, that's something that they're looking at and trying to take advantage of.
All the little things. 2 balls and a strike to Rowdy Tellez, batting here with 1 out and nobody on. Mariners right now the 2nd most steals in baseball. They've stolen 5 bags the last 2 games here in Cincinnati. Tellez laces this into right field. This short hops the wall. Extra base. Well, maybe not. I jumped the gun on that one. Fraley got to it quickly, and Rowdy hasn't stolen a base yet.
One of 3 players that still do not have a stolen base. Ben Williamson almost got one yesterday. It took a perfect throw to get him. Rowdy needed this one. He's had some really good at-bats and not a whole lot to show for it. And this slider, he makes sure that he gets the barrel out in front and gets it to the pull side.
Red-hot Dylan Moore takes a pitch on the corner for strike 1. 5 hits the last 2 nights here in Cincinnati. 3 extra base hits, including a pair of homers. You know, if everything broke according to plan for the Mariners from a health perspective, I'm not sure what the number is that they had in mind for total at-bats this year for Dylan Moore against right-handed pitching. My guess would be that he's already had more than they expected at this point in the season. Gets jammed here, and a soft pop-up into short left field. There is De La Cruz. But to Dylan's credit, early on this year, he has held his own against righties and mashed lefties. So it's certainly been good for Dan Wilson and the Mariners lineup to be able to slot him in as often as they have against right-handers. 2 outs. Tellez at first base, 2 down for Miles Mastrobuoni, starting at 3rd. Bats 8th and looks at a strike.
And I love this. Even Rowdy Tellez, Eric Young Jr. giving him times every single time. It's like, is he 1-9 to the plate? Is he 2-1 to the plate?
Why not taking a pitch off?
And that conversation was a little bit longer than a time.
Rowdy has 4 stolen bases in his career. One ball and 2 strikes. Mastrobuoni has made the most of his at-bats early on this year. First-year Mariner. Two. This is kind of drifting to no man's land. Dunn covers some ground, but he cannot hold on to it. It's a foul ball. He drops it. And a little bit of a break there for the Mariners.
As an outfielder, you really want to try to stay on the balls of your feet, and I think that Dunn had to start chopping his feet to make sure that he didn't make contact with the wall, and all of a sudden you start heel striking, and then that ball starts bouncing and he clanks it.
Still 2-2. J.P. Crawford would bat next. Mariners have Tellez at first base. in the dirt for ball 4. Second walk from Singer. The Mariners have 2 on with 2 out.
Now, because that was a 3-2 count with 2 outs, we got to see Rowdy Tellez's jump because he could go on the pitch. I don't think it's going to happen, Aaron.
Early indications. He is in scoring position for J.P. Crawford. And maybe the bat's starting to come around a little bit for J.P. as we.
There you go. There's the jump.
Look at Rowdy. And 6 hits the last 6 games for J.P. to go along with 4 walks in that time.
And if you look at the spray chart on those hits, a lot to the opposite field. And I think, you know, that's JP getting back to what he does best. A couple of years ago, he was just really looking to spin to win and make contact with that fastball out in front, and it just didn't give him a lot of length in his swing. And now he's back to hitting the ball the other way. He's going to run into off speed for slug.
A throwback to keep an eye on Tellez. And Rowdy's making sure.
They're worried about that speed out there.
Little fun there from De La Cruz. Austin Wynns is doing the catching today. Well, you go back 2 years ago and JP had a career year, 19 home runs, and he really did something that's so hard to do. He increased his slug, he increased his on base, and he did not chase. I mean, it really was the best of both worlds. And on the hands a little bit and popped up. Wins the catcher trying to find it, and Tellez is weaving through. Espinal had an eclipse run past him, and that might have distracted the veteran infielder a little bit as Rowdy was trying to find his way between Espinal and Wins, and the ball drops.
Espinal has to, you know, call this ball. I mean, this is such an easier play for a third baseman than a catcher. And to your point, though, you know, Rowdy does not make contact with either position player and just kind of weaves in between them.
Now, so the second dropped ball in foul territory that looked catchable. Certainly this one, even more than the other one dropped by Dunn. One of the short wall in left field.
Yeah, hat tip to Rowdy. Let's see if JP can use the extra out.
2 outs, 2 on. Now Singer over 40 pitches. First year Red. He really pitched well against the Mariners early in his career. Last 2 times out, last couple of seasons for Singer against the Mariners. He's been knocked around. Yeah, his first 4 starts against the M's, a 1.71, and his last 2 outings, which to be fair spanned 2 seasons, 18 hits on 8 earned runs. Hence the 400 average. To center field. This is driven back pretty well, but onto the warning track there is Friedl for out number 3. A couple of men are left. for as little as $10 to both matchups against the Angels at the end of April, the 29th and 30th. Mariners.com/value games to lock in your seats. You can see the complete value game schedule there as well. Jeimer Candelario looks at a first pitch strike. Switch hitter at first base today for the Reds. (2-0) Cincinnati on an Austin Hayes home run. The Mariners win last night snapped the Reds' 4-game winning streak. They've still won 7 of their last 10. As he gets a piece of that to stay alive. Reds offense this year has certainly been inconsistent. There's no question about that. They got off to a slow start. This is down the line and a foul ball. The Reds early this season in early April lost 3 straight games 1-0.
Yeah, I was just going to say on the other side of that, it's their pitching staff that's really kind of kept them in games. They are among the major league leaders in opponents' average, opponents, on base percentage. They have been really good.
And the rotation's been fantastic, and it's been headlined by Hunter Green, a former first-round draft pick who it seems like is really coming into his own this year. And the Mariners fortunate they missed Green on this trip, trying to take advantage of that today, the rubber game of the series.
One thing they've done, whoa, I think they got somebody down there. And one thing they've been able to do is be really efficient, and that's kind of a good sign so far for the Mariners, that they've been able to make Singer throw a lot of pitches. They average just over 15 pitches an inning, which is the lowest in the majors.
Just in off the plate. Lengthy at bat here for Candelario. Well, speaking of efficiency, this will be the 9th pitch for Hancock this at bat, and he puts him away with a fastball over the plate. There is out number 1. Well, we were talking about how this is such a hitter-friendly ballpark, and we've seen it, the opposite field home run from Hayes. StatCast puts out their ballpark factors, and typically these are looked at on 3-year rolling averages, so 22, 23, and 24. This ballpark was first in home runs and 3rd overall in runs scored, and the numbers here are on a 100 league average basis. So if you look at the home runs, the 128 number, this ballpark over a 3-year average inflates home runs by 28% and overall offense runs scored by 10%. Jammed in a weak comebacker for an easy out number 2. So
make sure you mention it to Emerson. It'll make him feel better.
I mean, this is a place where it's not Colorado necessarily. You don't maybe have all the singles dunking in, and the ball moves certainly differently here than it does in Colorado, or lack thereof there. But this is one of the great offensive environments in the game. And it really does go to show you how much the Mariners are valuing the extra rest for, in particular, Miller and Wu, to reslot things once again and have Hancock pitch here and then eventually at Fenway Park, because this is not a friendly place to pitch. There's no question. The numbers bear it out. A nice job by Cal Raleigh holding that as a strike.
And really, when you look at what Emerson's been able to do, and it's always nice to just take away the home run, but he has done a good job keeping the ball down and keeping them on the ground.
Good velo there, 96 right over the plate. Fraley can't move it forward.
Yeah, in his last starts, it's my understanding the reports say he was actually touching 97, and that's always the thing with Emerson Hancock, is can he get that velo up just a little bit more?
Yeah, instead of more 92, 94, can he be more 93, 96?
Exactly,
right?
And every once in a while reach back and get 97, because, if you're able to do that, it just makes the hitters' swing decisions have to happen so much faster, so much quicker, and then it makes all your off speed that much better.
2 outs, nobody on. Yeah, all the conversation we've heard, especially in recent years, about just simply velocity is that the real separator is 95, right? And anything 95 and over is where things really start to happen in a positive way for the pitcher with that fastball. Strike 3 call. 96 that Fraley takes a couple of strikeouts in a 1-2-3 inning from Emerson Hancock. Toyota Dealers pitching matchup. So Brian Wu will go tomorrow. Logan Gilbert on Saturday, as Julio sends this fly ball out to left field. A little breezy today. And then Castillo will go on Sunday. Tomorrow on Apple TV, by the way. There will be no local route telecast. We'll be with you on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, so Francis, Barrios, and Lucas will counter for the Blue Jays. And, you know, sometimes you get unlucky with who you draw. Sometimes you get the short straw, like the year where the Mariners played the Astros 6 times and they faced Verlander 6 times, right? Like that can happen. And other times you get kind of lucky. We mentioned missing Hunter Green here, and they will be missing Chris Bassett, who just pitched yesterday, who is off to a tremendous start to the season. Polanco takes down. They will miss him in Toronto. And not to go total nerd central on you.
I was hoping you would.
But I mean, if you look at Fangraphs WAR so far this year, the 2 guys tied at the very top of that leaderboard are Hunter Green and Chris Bassett. And for the more conventional fan, we love you too. Hunter Green a .98 ERA, Bassett a .77. So that's a huge advantage for the Mariners. That doesn't mean they're going to win a game necessarily guaranteed, but to miss those 2 arms, that's a big deal.
Yeah, those are 2 tough days at the office for sure.
Still 2-2 on Polanco, so trying to take advantage of missing both those guys. A chance for a series win today. And then you got some big arms going in your favor those 3 days at Rogers Center. Strike 3 call. That was just at the bottom of the zone, and Polanco is out. Well, the next Mariners homestand gets started with this really fun giveaway. Friday, April 25th. It is the Citi Connect Captain's Hat. First 10,000 fans will take it home. Marlins in town. Mariners.com/tickets. Strike 1 to Cal Raleigh. 0-2. Last night, Cal's 100th career home run. Some other guys with their 100th here in Cincinnati. That's a great list. Mays, Aaron, Piazza.
That's fun.
And Singer makes quick work of Cal and the Mariners in a 1-2-3, top of the third. Telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Now, Dan Wilson was a huge Johnny Bench fan and drafted by the Reds. That was part of what made that so special for Dan, being able to come here to Cincinnati. Of course, little did he know he would end up going all the way to the Pacific Northwest and become a franchise icon and now a manager.
We're asking about that. Does this kind of feel like a bit of a full circle moment for you? And he says, really, his time in Cincinnati feels like an entire lifetime ago.
Well located, 96 again from Hancock. Up and in, 1 ball and 1 strike. And Dan was taken 7th overall by the Reds in 1990, and then a few years later traded to the Mariners. Made his major league debut with Cincinnati. Did not play a whole lot overall in the grand scheme of things. Fewer than 50 games. But what a career in a Mariners uniform. Wins calls for time. Top of the order is next. Hancock a 1-2-3 second inning. Nice bounce back frame after that 2-run home run in the first. Going right after him. Nothing but fastballs to Austin Wynns. That time change of speeds and gets the strikeout. His third punch out today. 1 away.
We saw this sequence in reverse to Jake Fraley. at the end of last inning. He goes with the four-seam fastball up at the top of the zone at 96, and then boom, look at this changeup. And the bottom just drops out of it. His bat is 3 days early in the swing. It's good sequencing today by Emerson. Good location, too.
Bottom of the zone for a strike. He's suddenly struck out 3 of the last 4 batters that he's faced. Now facing the order for the second time through, leadoff man TJ Friedl. Close miss there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Count evens 2 balls and 2 strikes. First real road trip of the season for the Mariners. They had played 1 road series prior to coming here to Cincinnati. Just a quick 3-game trip to San Francisco. An unfortunate sweep to the hands of the Giants. But this is their first real road test for the Mariners this season, and a really long one at that. 9 games in 10 days. Out to the gap in right center field. Julio covering some ground, and Raley peels away. There is out number 2.
How to change the way you pizza. Step 1, grab a delicious Papa Murphy's pizza. Step 2, bake. Order the fan favorite cowboy pizza right now at papamurphys.com.
2 up and 2 down. Here is Espinal. Espinal, the former Blue Jay. Mariners headed to Toronto next. You know, really, to be fair, it's an 11-day trip for the Mariners if you include the travel day, which I think you should. Mariners will have a day off on Monday in Boston.
My expense report with per diem on it will certainly reflect that.
2-0. Espinal batting second, had a hard line out to short. Hit it right at J.P. Crawford his first at bat. Three and 1. Only the second 3-ball count for Emerson early on. Big chopper. JP on a tricky hop, stays with it on to first for round number 3. JP Crawford making a fine play. 7 in a row retired by Emerson Hancock. Well, J.P. Crawford getting things done at shortstop and helping Emerson Hancock with a 1-2-3 inning.
A tough bounce. He comes in, takes the short hop, and then as he's trying to get his grip, he kind of loses the handle on it. But the thing about JP is there is absolutely no panic in him. Look, on the transfer right there, that's all right. Look, here we go. Boom, right into his four-seam grip. And that's why it's so important. Like all those little kids out there, every single time you play catch, get your four-seam grip. Catch the ball, find the seams. That way the ball's not going to slip out of your hands, especially in the Northwest where it's so wet and rainy. But you see how fast that happens. And that is just thousands and thousands and thousands of, you know, chances and opportunities.
And Rosarena leads it off for the Mariners. He gets ahead 2-0. Singer a 1-2-3, just a 10-pitch third inning.
We talked about how efficient they have been, and he really had to throw a lot of pitches there in the second, and I think the third, unfortunately, helped him really get back on track.
Two and two. Randy has been such a threat on the bases this year. 5 stolen bases his last 5 games combined. He works himself into a full count. Raley on deck, and then Rowdy Tellez. Off the plate for ball 4. He's been drawing a lot of walks this year. Rosarena, the 3rd walk today for the Mariners. Good way to start the 4th. You can celebrate Mother's Day weekend at T-Mobile Park, May 9th through the 11th. Treat mom to a day of baseball and some unforgettable moments with the Mariners. Mother's Day is coming up soon. You can make your plans. Grab tickets today at mariners.com/tickets.
Randy really seems to be dialed in with that strike zone. His walk rate so far this season is at 18%.
Well, it's among the highest in baseball.
He and JP were tied for the American League with 14 walks, and he just retook the lead.
Raley behind 0-2. He dives back in. Rosarena safe. Raley from Ohio, a Cleveland guy, lives there in the offseason. Played Division II baseball at Lake Erie College near Cleveland. Demolished to right field. Luke Raley just hit a tank halfway up the seats at right field. He has tied this game in the 4th inning.
This was coming. You go back to yesterday, and he had incredible at-bats. Nothing to show for it, but he was on it. He lined out to left field. He hit a warning track shot to dead center field, and this one on the slider. He makes sure he doesn't miss, and all of a sudden, the Mariners have a new game. Again, this slider starts on the outside and then just breaks over the middle, and you look at that swing path from Luke Raley right there, just keeps it going towards center, and has such length on it. And really, again, this is what we saw yesterday from him, and then he just comes out and does this on the off speed today.
Ball and a strike to Rowdy Tellez. Mariners entered play today tied for 6th in baseball in home runs. And they played a lot of games at T-Mobile Park early on this year.
Good point.
And has been very much a home front-loaded schedule for the Mariners. 3-2, and they have consistently for some time now this year ranked among the very top in baseball in terms of percentage of runs scored via the homer. I only bring this up because obviously one of the kind of mantras for the Mariners this offseason was cut down on the swing and miss, right? Use the whole field, use the big part of the field, hit the fastball. And I think there was kind of an assumption with that there would be hopefully less reliance on the home run and more reliance on just hitting overall. And hey, if you're Dan Wilson or if you're any guy in that dugout, you're not going to complain about hitting the ball out of the ballpark. But it is just kind of interesting, if nothing else, that the home runs have still been a really major part of the Mariners' offensive identity, at least almost 20 games into the season, which obviously is still very early.
And I think what happens there is you're looking to take that up the middle approach. You're going to slug mistakes, and that's what they've been doing.
Another base hit in the series for Dylan Moore. That's his 6th hit here in Cincinnati.
He's just been on a tear, hitting .325 coming into the game. Really impressive string that Dylan Moore is on right now. And this one, isn't hit a million miles an hour, but puts it in play and dumps it into left. I remember Dan talking the other day, and I think he said it was Sparky who told him, this game will take you to high places and this game will take you to low places. It's the guys that stay in the middle the most that end up succeeding. And I think that's an important approach to have when it comes to hitting as well. You are going to crush baseballs, but you're just not always going to be crushing the baseballs. You got to take your singles. And I think the Mariners got away from that at times last year.
One ball and a 1 strike to Mastrobuoni. Just under half the Mariners' runs scored this year have come on home runs. 5th highest mark in baseball. The Mariners last year really got to a crossroads of, hey, you have to do one of two things more often. You either have to just make more contact more often, or you have to hit more home runs more often, because the Mariners were making good contact but not enough of it. And we have seen the Mariners, especially on that homestand, and in particular that middle game against the Rangers, really stands out. They have started to see certainly better at bats than we saw in the early parts of the season. And they've had a couple of hot hitters, right? You've got Cal Raleigh, who as Dylan Moore takes off. Here's the throw, the tag by De La Cruz, and he's safe.
That was a little bit of a head scratcher because he takes a hop and then goes. I mean, we usually don't see Dylan do that. We see him basically break straight out of his lead, but he gets in there, looks like just in enough time.
That's the 6th Mariners stolen base this series. They've been caught just one time. Two balls and 2 strikes to Mastrobuoni. Go ahead run at second base. JP on deck with 1 out. Strike 3 called. It just clips the edge. EQC Tracer has that just barely on the edge for a strike. Borderline pitch, but it is out number 2.
Yeah, you're Miles Mastrobuoni, and you're thinking, yeah, there's not much I'm going to be able to do with that pitch. That's just a pitcher's pitch, and tip your cap and head back to the dugout.
5th strikeout for Singer. Lengthy at bat for Mastrobuoni. Ball 1-2 JP. Speaking of lengthy at bats, JP a 9-pitch at bat. His last time up. Out towards left center. Dunn calling for it, makes the catch, and Dylan Moore is stranded. Luke Raley's home run to right field has evened the score. We're tied at 2. First inning. They're happy to have him back in on the roster in the lineup after beginning the year on the injured list. That was 4 batters into things for Cincinnati. Emerson Hancock has really settled down since then. Ball 1 to Elly De La Cruz. Jammed him, ground ball through the right side. De La Cruz is aboard. He is 2 for 2, a couple of singles. Here is Austin Hayes. Very close pitch. Ruled ball 1. De La Cruz last year leading the majors with 67 stolen bases. One. Big bouncer over to third. Mastrobuoni to second. Moore on to first, and Tellez able to handle the hop. A double play to erase that leadoff single. 2 down.
A much better job of going right at Austin Hayes. Again, he fell behind. He ended up hitting the home run. Here, he gets him to roll over a changeup, and Miles gets rid of it quickly. And I think that Demo had to hurry his throw just a little bit, spikes it, but Rowdy picks him up on the other side.
Ball 1-2, Gavin Lux. So the Mariners able to get 2 for 1 there and erase that leadoff single by De La Cruz. Certainly somebody you'd like to get off the base paths. Out to center. Julio has to play it on a hop. Lux is aboard. A 2-out single. Well, the next Mariners Little League Day is coming up less than 2 weeks away. The Mariners are hosting the Marlins on Sunday, April 27th. And it's as part of the festivities, all kids 14 and under will score a Mariners poster. The Mariners outfielders, go to mariners.com/tickets. Victor, Julio, and Randy. Man, when I think about the Marlins at T-Mobile Park, which obviously is not a normal thing, although it's becoming more normal with the way the schedule is now every other year. The first thing that comes to mind is Giancarlo Stanton with the Marlins hitting a home run beyond the pen, like to the hamburger stand. It was, I think it got 25 feet off the ground the whole time. It was one of the more impressive home runs I've ever seen at that ballpark.
No, he's certainly hit a few that are worth admiring over the years.
2 outs and a man on for Candelario. Also Ichiro coming back in homering at T-Mobile.
I remember they I think it was a concert or something. Did they
U2
were
concert.
having? Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. And so they came to Seattle and were playing National League Rules in Seattle, which was
And they were the home team.
cool. Yeah, they were the home team. It's kind of cool. I mean, Mariners didn't give them their dugout or anything, but
Yeah, Felix got a base hit in that one of those games. Yeah, they switched clubhouses. Is that what happened?
no chance.
Still 1-2. I mean, can you imagine if you're the Marlins in that situation? You're like, wait a second, we have to fly all the way across the country to play 3 home games in Seattle,
and we don't get a DH.
Yes, exactly.
At the time.
Like, hey guys, do you have a calendar? What's going on here?
Are you a big U2 fan? Like, it's like people are, they aren't. I don't know.
Really?
Oh, I'm not. No, I don't get it.
This is popped up foul. Cal gives it a look. So if somebody gave you free U2 tickets, you'd be like,
No, I take it. I mean, I think it's, you know what, like, remember the early iPhones? It's like U2 music came on. So like every single time I got in my car, it like automatically came on. And I was just like,
you have such a tortured past. Emerson Hancock with a strikeout, his 4th. We'll be seeing Jorge Polanco, Cal Raleigh when we move on. Final game of the series here in Cincinnati. Some day baseball. Julio goes after the first pitch and lashes this into right field for a base hit. The Mariners have the go-ahead run aboard. Good way to start the fifth as Singer's pitch count is over 80 and the Reds bullpen beginning to move around.
It's a good adjustment by Julio, and we keep talking about how at the plate you've got to be willing to be a little bit late on that inside pitch, and if you're going to take this up the middle approach, he was, but he's so strong, he's still going to drive that ball the other way.
One ball and one strike to Polanco. Falls behind. Third time through the order. Easy take there for Jorge. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Julio lead at first base. And that was a little closer over there at first, but Julio's safe.
Yeah, Julio has that stance where he's got that front foot kind of 3/4, and even though that puts him in a good position to go to second, it also puts him in a position where he can push back to first.
He's really dancing around over there. Kind of got caught in between.
He did that yesterday. It's almost like, is this a delayed steal? Is he picking up on something? That's a head scratcher, because he was in no man's land again.
That was Taylor Rogers you saw warming up inside the Reds bullpen. On the ground, hard hit, and as Julio has to skip a little rope, races around second base. Here comes a strong throw. It's up the line. It kicks away from Espinal, but stays close enough that Julio has to stay put. But in the midst of all that, Polanco is able to take an extra base. He's in at second.
Julio has to hop over this one, but he never breaks stride from there and gets into third. A really good throw from Fraley and right, but unfortunately for Fraley, that's off the line and offline.
It is an error on Fraley that allows Polanco to take second base.
Oh, that's huge with 0 outs for the Mariners to stay out of the double play there.
Now the Reds have the lefty warming up. They could flip Cal to bat right-handed, but then you would have Randy facing Rogers, which I don't think is something that Terry Francona would like very much. A couple of home runs last night for Cal Raleigh, homering from both sides of the plate for the 4th time in his career. Almost mirror images.
I just continue to marvel at it. I mean, it's so rare for switch hitters to have, if you talk to them, like both their swings going well at the same time. That's so rare for them to just be hitting well from both sides, let alone leaving the yard from both sides.
Jammed, and Polanco has to get back, and it's underneath the glove of De La Cruz, and in between hop. Julio scores. The Mariners have taken the lead on just kind of a slinky that works its way through the infield. It's 3-2 Mariners.
I don't know what the exit velo on that was. It looked like about 65 miles an hour, but there was so much spin on it. And then, as we talked about Rowdy Tellez providing cover just a little bit, it was sort of the same situation with Polanco, just in front of De La Cruz enough so maybe he couldn't get a read on how much spin that ball had on it.
Randy goes after the first pitch. Well, I mean, a night after homering twice, once from each side of the plate, that certainly is a different way to bring in a run if you're Cal Raleigh. But he put it in play and good things happen. It is an error. So 2 errors this inning, back-to-back batters for the Reds.
I way oversold that. The exit velocity on that was 56 miles per hour.
Mariners are leading for the first time today and threatening for more. Polanco at third, Cal Raleigh at first base. Nobody out. And there goes the bat on a swing and a miss. That's probably the last batter for Singer. And then Randy is down for out number 1. Let's see what Tito wants to do. And yes, he will. Go to the bullpen and bring on Rogers. We got a pitching change. Mariners now in front in the 5th, 3-2, and they have knocked Brady Singer out very early. Health, make a play for your health with the Mariners' trusted sports medicine provider. Find a doctor today at vmfh.org/Mariners. And by Steel. To find your local Steel dealers, visit steeldealers.com. Mariners have taken a 3-2 lead, threatening for more. 1-out runners on the corners. The lefty Rogers is on the mound, and Dan Wilson goes to his bench. He will hit Donovan Solano for Luke Raley. We typically have not seen Dan pinch hit this early in a game in particular, but he does in this instance.
We joke about how this game is, what have you done for me lately? Luke Raley ties the game with a home run. Thanks. Take a seat. Take a lap.
You know, we've asked Dan about not pinch hitting in a number of instances earlier this year for either Raley or Tellez, typically more in the 6th inning. And the answer has been it's just too early in the game to lose the bat. Fly ball out to right field. Will it be deep enough? Fraley is underneath it. Here comes Polanco. The throw is well up the line. It's a sacrifice fly off the bat of Donovan Solano, and a big run comes in here in the 5th inning. It's 4-2 Mariners.
Just doing your job. And Fraley, look, he's kind of really starting this throw from a dead standstill. And ideally, as an outfielder, you want to get 2 to 3 feet behind that so you can have your momentum coming through that as you catch it. He basically caught it at a dead standstill and then started his motion. You have to take 3 steps after you catch the ball. Well, guess what? You know, the runner on third base gets to take 3 steps as well.
Another pinch hitter, Ben Williamson, who just recently made his major league debut beginning of this series. He is on here to bat for Tellez.
And Tellez was on the on-deck circle. and then came back.
Only base runner now for the Mariners, Cal Raleigh at first base. So Dan being much more aggressive today. Going to his bench here in the 5th for a couple of pinch hitters. Cal Raleigh bolts for second. Here's the throw on the tag, and Cal Raleigh swipes another base. He has been off and running this year. He is 3 for 3.
Just sneaky fast. And if you're not going to pay attention to Cal Raleigh, he's going to steal second on you. And Wins, you saw he really wasn't coming out of his stance as early as he probably should be. I think he was just caught off guard a little bit.
Williamson a drive out to right field. Fraley chasing after it and gets there in front of the warning track for round number 3. A man has left, but 2 runs come in for the Mariners. They have taken the lead at the top of the 5th. Sidekick night coming to the first 10,000 fans. Mariners will be back home against the Marlins. Mariners.com/tickets. It goes on just that easy. All right, we got a whole bunch of changes for the Mariners. Mastrobuoni goes from right field, pardon me, from third base to right field. Williamson, who just pinch hit, is now at third base. Dunn fouls back the first pitch. Solano is at first base for the Mariners.
Miles was the last one out on the field. I think he had to go and find his outfield glove up in the clubhouse.
And one of his real calling cards is his versatility. He's played the corners in the big leagues. And a little bit of shortstop as well. Just a bit inside to Blake Dunn leading off the Reds' 5th. The Mariners have taken a 2-run lead, and they really took advantage of a couple of miscues, 2 errors in the top half of the inning by the Reds. So Hancock pitching with the lead for the first time. This is pounded into the ground. Dylan Moore has it come to him. 1 down. Next pitch will be number 70. Second start this year for Emerson Hancock. And man, he still has 2 more outs to go here in the 5th, Angie. So we shall see. He's got Fraley and then Wins. But if somebody had told Dan Wilson that in this ballpark, this is on a line out to left field for a base hit, that you could get through 5 innings with Emerson Hancock and have the lead, And that would be a pretty big win. Mariners reshuffling their rotation. Ty and Run is now coming to the plate, however, in wins. He said one double play turn behind him so far.
You go back to last year for Emerson Hancock, though, and he did a great job of giving the Mariners an opportunity to win. In all but 2 starts last year, which were just clunkers, Emerson allowed 3 earned runs or less.
And still a very young pitcher, fewer than 20 big league starts in his career. Second straight season he made the team out of camp as the Mariners' #5 starter. Fly ball hanging up there, not hit especially deep. Julio really covering some ground. He makes the catch for round number 2. Back to the top of the order to Friedel. When we get to the 6th inning, Brad Adam in the stands here at Great American Ballpark will be talking to none other than Cal Raleigh's mother. So fun interview on deck. Fraley taking off the throw. The tag looked like it was right on the hand, and it was on the money from Cal Raleigh. Making mom proud. 4-2 Mariners after 5. The majors and catcher caught stealing. Adds another one to the list. He nabs the former Mariner Jake Fraley trying to steal second to end the inning. We turn the page. We move on to the 6th, and as promised, we check in with Brad Adam. Brad?
Yeah, sitting in 116 again. First the Williamsons, and now the Raleighs here with mom Stephanie Raleigh here. Now we just saw Cal. I believe that was his first caught stealing of the year. What did you see out of that? You know, kind of critique your son on that throw. What'd you see?
Well, you're asking his mom about that, so I'm going to say he's the best ever. You know?
Well, he was. He certainly was.
Everything he does is perfect.
There
right?
you go. Yeah.
His dad's the critiquer. I just say yay.
Well, now we had Todd on. Now it's good to get the mom's perspective as well, to know that he is a perfect son and everything good about him. Last night was certainly a great night for him, homering on both sides of the ball. When you have a game like that, just kind of the feeling, that the pride you have, what do you kind of feel as you watch Cal have that much success at this level?
You know, you sit and you want him to do good every single game. You know that's never going to happen every single game. There's ups and downs. It's baseball. But when he can do something like this, homer from one side and then turn around to the other side, you're so tickled for him and so happy from all the hard work he's put into it, and especially when you've got people here watching him, where it's very exciting. And you know, it's even better when he comes to the dugout and he looks up and gives you a little thumbs up, and it's really, really, it's a good feeling. And you know, Seattle is a very, very long way from home, from North Carolina, but he is loving every minute of this, and we couldn't be happier for him.
Tell us about the group. You mentioned some from North Carolina. Who's got buddies from Tennessee, from New York as well?
Yeah, we've got his best friend from high school's here, one of his best buds, and they got to come up today and see him play. So he's got his family here with him, and hopefully he'll get to hang out with him a little bit before they leave to talk to him for a few minutes. And then we've got, two of his aunts and cousin are here today too. Some friends and family from back home are here as well. So they all got to be here yesterday. So they were loving a good game yesterday. So 2 big hits yesterday for him, and right and left sides of the plate. So yeah, it was fun. We liked it.
Now we talk as Dylan Moore takes off for second. Might have him there. But you don't get to see a lot of Cal's games on the road. So while you're here, we had to wait, Stephanie, like a couple of innings while you're on a work call. Can you just let them know, hey, somebody else manned the phones, you're watching your son play baseball?
I know. It's like I had to go to the bathroom so I could hear on the phone. But, yeah, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And, if it means stand in the bathroom for a couple minutes on a phone call to get things taken care of, I'll do it if I can be here. So, yeah, we don't get to go to a lot of games. This is one of the closer trips for us when we're home on the East Coast. It was a 5.5-hour trip up here, but it's one of the closest games. That in Atlanta is about a 3-hour trip for us. So, we try to do as many of the games on this side of the country as we can, and thank goodness this one's not too far. So
I know you're going to join us in Boston as well, which is good. But before I let you go, I've got to ask, because there's some controversy on Cal's nickname.
Yeah.
And Todd said that it's appropriate and he's good with it. As a mom, a big dumper, do you want your son?
Stinks.
I thought you were okay with it now.
I'll roll with it.
Okay.
I'll roll with it. He's accepted it, so I'm good with it too. I won't say I love it, though.
Well, Mom, I guess you can't say you love it, but you love the way he's playing and the team's playing and they're winning, and it's great to see you, and it's great to visit out here with friends and family, and it's great to see the support, and look forward to seeing you in Boston and Seattle, of course.
Thank you, yes, and I just want to say thank you to all of Seattle for loving my kid, because you got a pretty good one, so.
We absolutely do, no matter what we call him.
Yeah.
As we get back to...
He's embraced it, so.
Maybe, Aaron, we can call him when Mom's not around. I guess we're okay. I guess we'll get the thumbs up for that.
We'll go with it.
Okay, awesome.
Oh, what a sweet final comment there from Stephanie. I've heard Cal say numerous times, I've asked him, how does Mom feel? And I will be honest, Cal has oversold his mom's feelings on the nickname.
Well, I think about it, like as a mom, and, somebody's talking about my kid's backside. I'm like, leave it alone. Put it down. Knock it off. But I did love the fact that Mom was multitasking here at the ballpark, watching her kid working. I can respect that. Mad respect for you, Steph.
Cal, we heard North Carolina, we heard Tennessee mentioned by Stephanie. Cal grew up kind of in both places. His dad was an assistant baseball coach at James Madison, and then later at East Carolina. Then got a head coaching job at Western Carolina to coach their baseball team, and then eventually was the head coach at Tennessee. That was 2008 to about 2011. And I mean, imagine, Cal, you're a young kid, you're already kind of baseball crazed because your dad is a Division I coach, and he was 10 to 15 years old when his dad was a major SEC head baseball coach. I mean, talk about just living the dream as a kid. It's just incredible. And we've heard Cal so many times talk about how much his dad has taught him about this game, and that they talk regularly, as you might imagine, during the season. But what a fun childhood for Cal to be around the game as much as he was. And obviously that's made a huge impact on his life and now his career. One of my favorite sneaky moments of the season, by the way, is when Cal was awarded his Golden Platinum Glove at T-Mobile Park on the first homestand. His dad hoisted the platinum glove above his head like he won it, and he was so proud of his son. And Mastrobuoni on his way to second. This is fielded at second base, and I mean, any parent who was watching that ceremony and Cal's whole family and his girlfriend was on the field, you're like, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
He was so proud of his son. It was a very sweet moment.
And, you know, as a parent, I think it doesn't matter what your kid grows up to do, and most of them don't grow up to win platinum gloves, but, you know, whether it's a recital, you know, a piano concert, I mean, you're just, I think as a parent, you just have so much pride, and you want to see your kid succeed so much, and it really was a special moment to watch Cal's family just sort of enjoy that moment with him.
Julio is at the plate with 2 outs and a man at second. Out to center field. In front of the warning track, Friedl is there for out number 3. Of the 6th, and Emerson Hancock in his return to the Mariners. 5 strong innings in this one, Angie.
I am so thrilled for him. That first start is one you know that he wants to forget. This certainly helps that happen. He did his job today. Gets through 5 innings, scatters 5 hits. And the home run, we talked about, you know, how basically easy they are to hit in this ballpark. 4 punch-outs. He's not a strikeout pitcher. Did a fantastic job all day today of keeping the ball on the ground.
Really limited the hard contact for the Reds. Gabe Speier is on here, lefty pocket at the top of the order. Friedl sounded like a broken bat, and it just snakes past Solano. Friedl is aboard. Thought about a wide turn, but gets back. That brings a tying run to the plate in Espinal.
And this is what Gabe Speier's sinker does. It breaks bats, and unfortunately that bat dies a hero as he squeaks it down the first base line. But good pitch, bad outcome.
You would imagine that Dan Wilson has all of his leverage arms available in this game. Right-handed bat of Espinal looks at strike 1. You've got De La Cruz on deck. One ball, one strike. Espinal 0 for 2. A hard line out in his first at bat. Big spot here for Spire, trying to protect the 2-run lead facing the top of the order. And he gets ahead 1-2 on Santiago Espinal. Spire off to just a tremendous start. He has real shades of 2 years ago. Maybe he's even looked a little bit better at times. Ahead of the count here. Time call. Spire was really taking his time, keeping an eye on Friedl over there at first base.
To put in perspective just how good he has been, you know, tossed the scoreless 8th last night. A .26 ERA is the lowest in any month in MLB history.
One, two.
But that's how good he has been in March and April for his career, and so far he is not allowed to run in 8 appearances.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Santiago Espinal. It's a full count. Well, this one worked out perfectly for the Mariners in terms of Emerson Hancock. He went through the order twice, went 5 innings, held the Reds to 2 runs. Now the Mariners can turn things over to the bullpen with the lead. So this one has gone according to plan so far. Now trying to hold on to it. Cracked out towards right center. Julio gliding and making the catch. There is out number 1. It sends Friedl back to first base.
I really like the way he settled back in after allowing that 2-run home run in the first inning. I mean, that could rattle a pitcher, especially after what he went through in the first inning of his first start of 2025. But you saw a different Emerson Hancock out there today. I think, you know, you go through what he's gone through, and I don't want to say he has a little chip on his shoulder, but every single time, you know, he gets a little bit rougher, he gets a little bit tougher.
Well, after that first inning, he faced just 1 over the minimum, and he allowed just 3 hits. They were all singles. It did not start off great for Emerson, but you're right. He really settled down and did more than enough to keep the Mariners in this game. Quick meeting on the mound in advance of De La Cruz batting here.
And he mitigated the game. You know, even when he got the leadoff runner on in the 4th, he got the double play. Again, we saw him change speeds and get several strikeouts, mixed up his pitches. His changeup was fantastic today, living below the zone all day long.
A check swing. Did he go? He does not.
I disagree. Did you see my emphatic yes, he went?
I happened to notice that.
Everybody clap your hands.
Now, De La Cruz, a lot of power in that bat. Obviously, so much speed. Also, a lot of swing and miss. Spire falls behind 2-0. Friedl at first base with 1 out. 2-1.
He tried to lose that one, but just a tremendous amount of depth on Gabe Spire's slider.
Does he go? He does not. Back-to-back 3-ball counts. You don't see that often from Spire. One out, 1 on. And he walked him. Tying run is aboard. De La Cruz reaches for the 3rd time. And a rare walk from Spire. Snyder has been warming up. You've got the right-handed bat of Hayes due up next. continuing his strong series against the Mariners. A 2-run opposite field homer. That's his second home run this series. And he will bat here in the 6th inning with 2 men on base. He represents the go-ahead run.
One of the few mistakes that Emerson Hancock made today. He fell behind 3-1 count and had to pipe the 2-seamer.
Our Beacon Plumbing call to the pen.
Colin Snyder, mostly 4-seam fastball. He's been so consistent with that sweeper. He's got a good cutter as well. We will see that sinker, but it's kind of become his 4th pitch.
Just off the plate for ball 1. This is the first time early this season that Snyder is pitching with the lead. He has only been in the game in a tied game or when trailing. Now, last year we saw him all the time late in the season pitching in leverage spots. There's a swing and a miss on that breaking ball. 1-1.
Yeah, there's the sweeper that just has so much depth to it. And it's such a consistent pitch for him. He can put that in the zone or he can make you chase out.
Snyder may be settling in a little bit. His last 3 outings, just 1 hit, no walks and 3 strikeouts. He's pitched very well. He's got Friedl at second and the speed of De La Cruz at first base. 1 out. There's a strike. Reds threatening here in the 6th inning. Tying run at first. Go ahead run is at the plate with power. We've seen that firsthand. One, 2. Ground ball. Williamson has it. A race to third. Steps on the bag. A strong throw across. Not in time. Hayes able to beat it out. Friedl is retired for round number 2.
And I think this is a good decision by Williamson. This play kind of takes him over to third. And then I just think maybe he just took a little bit too much time to get to the bag. I mean, it was the right decision to get to the bag, but 3 steps to it and just can't get the throw over there in time.
2 outs, 2 on. Does not take much to bring De La Cruz home from second base. That's where he stands now. Here is Gavin Lux. Game 1 of this series a couple of nights ago, Lux tied a career high. He had 4 hits. There's a strike. 1-1. De La Cruz at second. Hayes the runner at first base. He backdoors it and gets a very generous call, and that really flips the script here. Instead of 2-1, it's 1-2.
Shout out Cal Raleigh. The importance of stealing a strike.
Snyder a spin and a look at De La Cruz. One pitch away from getting out of a jam here. 2 outs, 2 on. Snyder's 1-2. Very close. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Tying run for the Reds at first base. Ground ball finds Williamson. Nobody's at second. A couple of pumps and a throw to first base, and Solano ready for it for out number 3. Snyder up to the challenge, gets the Mariners out of the jam, and they lead it after 6. See you there. Mariners.com/tickets. Mariners able to hold on to the lead. That's a big outing by Colin Snyder. First time he'd been put in that position this year. Any more than passed the test. Alexis Diaz is up on the mound for the second time this series. He will work the 7th with the Mariners up by 2.
Yeah, we talked about Diaz's low release points the last time we saw him. You combine that with his crazy extension, and it makes things really tough on hitters. They do not have a lot of time to react by the time they see it.
Polanco looks at strike 1. On a line out to the gap in right center field, Jorge Polanco. What an April he is having. He stands up at second base. It's his second base hit today.
He just looks so good at the plate. And you look, small stride right there, and his bat path, we've talked about it, his first move with his hands when they're starting to move forward really goes right back up the middle, and this is where he's been living. Right center, left center. His spray chart is exactly everything that Edgar and Kevin Seitzer preach.
Mariners would love to play a little add-on here in the 7th, especially in this ballpark. Well, Cal was geared up for that one, but foul. Well, nothing cheap about the Polanco base hits.
The craziest thing to me, though, Aaron, is the fact that he really, you know, is in pain. And I asked, is the swing on the right side, is it the beginning of the swing or the end of the swing? And he said, sometimes the beginning, sometimes the end. Okay. But the fact that he has absolutely no pain whatsoever from the left side and can be completely and totally uninhibited with his left-handed swing is just incredible. And just the way he's hitting the ball and the exit velocity, as you talked about.
Well, this is the foul ball from Cal. What about this guy in the blue? Wow. So he's playing the carom, right? That hit something above, and yeah. Way to play the bounce. Got a pitch com issue maybe out on the field for the Reds right now. Cal will wait. Patient man. Hope he can stick around after the game with the Mariners postgame presented by Emerald Queen Casino. A win today for the Mariners would mark a series win. They are in Toronto tomorrow to begin a 3-game set. There is no route telecast tomorrow. That game will be on Apple TV. We will be back with you on Saturday. 5 home runs the last 5 games for Cal Raleigh, including a multi-homer game last night. Polanco at second, nobody out. 0-1. Kind of golfs this one. Nothing in 2. On the left side of the infield, Espinal makes the catch. 1 away. You know, Cal came into today with 7 home runs. That's where he still stands. That's tied with Aaron Judge for the 2nd most home runs in baseball. I guess hitting 5 home runs in 5 days will get you up the leaderboard pretty quickly. The major league leader in home runs right now has 8, so just 1 more than Cal. Tyler Soderstrom of the A's, who's had 3 multi-homer games, including 1 against the Mariners. I don't know who had Soderstrom at the top of the leaderboard in mid-April, but he is off to an incredible start.
No one not have guessed it. He really had an entire series against the Mariners.
Two balls, no strikes to Arozarena. 1 out. Polanco at second base. Three and 0. Randy walking away from that one and takes a strike. Diaz made his season debut in game 1. It was a little tough at times for Edwin's brother. Off the end of the bat, foul. Full count. Diaz went just 2/3 of an inning, a couple of walks. Had to throw a lot of pitches. Missing down and in. Arozarena draws his 2nd walk today.
Win or lose, it's really about how you feed the game, right? Together, we bring more. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
2nd time up for Donovan Solano. He pinch hit for Raley in the 5th and worked to sacrifice fly. 1 out, 2 on. Here's a move instead, and he holds on to it as Polanco is halfway in between. They're chasing him back, and be very careful with Polanco. Randy is in to second base. That did not time out well for the Mariners, but the last thing you wanted to see was Polanco changing direction too quickly, back and forth, as he heads down the stairs.
No, and the good thing that the Mariners at least get out of this, even though Polanco took off to 3rd a little bit early, was the fact that Randy Arozarena makes sure that he gets into 2nd.
So what happens on a play like that? I mean, is that just good timing by Diaz and the Reds? They saw something.
Exactly. Polanco thought he saw something, and you know, maybe it's the fact that Diaz is looking back once and then starting to go to the plate, but he changed it up and caught Polanco. But that's the thing, is that if you are picking up on tendencies, which is what, you know, EY and the Mariners are doing right now, it's not just about their times to home. They're looking for those tendencies, and more often than not, you're going to do that. They're going to take the gamble. Sometimes you are going to get caught in those situations. But I don't think the Mariners are going to stop being aggressive. 90 feet in baseball right now is just so important and so hard to get.
Fraley nearing the line, running out of room, and this is into the crowd. Well, the Mariners have stolen 30 bases now this year, and they have only 2 months of 30 steals or more since 2001. You can add this one to the list.
Wow.
Over by second base, Lux is there, waits for a while and makes the squeeze. It's time to stretch. Mariners holding a 2-run lead. Washington's lottery, and you can be out of here with a trip to 2026 spring training in sunny Arizona. Play today. Today's Northwest Chevy Silverado drive of the game. A big swing from Luke Raley.
Yeah, Luke Raley jumped on a slider, and again, this has just kind of been more of the same for him. He's really looked good at the plate.
Bottom of the 7th, Carlos Vargas is up on the mound, trying to protect a 4-2 lead. He'll have the bottom of the order, and Jeimer Candelario leading things off. Switch hitter. Bouncing ball to Dylan Moore, chest high, a little lob to Solano.
Now, I want you to know, Aaron, that as Vargas came in the game, he was, you know, stopped as they do. Alan Porter, the umpire, down the first baseline, check, make sure there's no sticky substances on his hand. And also, it seemed like he was checking out his sleeve.
The sleeves look great, don't they?
Exactly. All because of my friend Aaron Goldsmith. I think they've done some tailoring on that sleeve since yesterday.
And some pretty abrupt surgery to those tassels yesterday before his outing. It's all fine. Strike one. Blake Dunn batting. Vargas working back-to-back days. You know, this has got to be the hardest time of the year to manage a bullpen, when you are trying to figure out who's got what, right? You have some players that you are familiar with. Dan Wilson had a number of these relievers in his bullpen down the final stretch last year. You have other guys who you are trying to learn about on the fly, like Vargas. And even the ones that you knew last year, that doesn't mean that they're throwing it like they threw it in September, in Dan's case. And all that comes to mind when you think about Vargas when the Mariners were in spring training, even in the kind of final days of spring training. It was by no means a foregone conclusion that Vargas would break camp with the Mariners. There's a chance he was not going to make this team. A walk on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball inside, and he has quickly risen through the ranks in the bullpen and now pitching in leverage spots here, protecting a 2-run lead in the 7th inning.
And a big reason why he is in these high leverage spots is really because he hasn't done what he just did, and that is walk batters. And it really started last year where he's, honed in on doing a better job of getting ahead and not walking batters. But if I go back to the last time he was in the big leagues, his walk rate has really gone down.
This is off the base of the wall, and trouble. Dunn is held at third, and the Reds threatening as Fraley smokes a double into right field. This is the second straight inning the Reds have been in business. Tying run at second. Go ahead is coming to the plate.
Yeah, here you have a situation after the walk to Dunn. He wants to make sure he gets right back into the strike zone, and he just ambushes this pitch into the right field corner.
Pete Woodworth strolling out to the mound.
But yeah, to finish that thought, his walk rate this year has been incredible, just 2.5%, much better as you go back to 2023, the last time he was in the big leagues, and his walk rate was at over 18%.
Yeah, a handful of outings that year for Arizona. Nobody moving inside the Mariners bullpen, at least not as of now. Matt McLain bats for Austin Wynns, backup catcher who was in there today. Dunn at third, Fraley the runner at second. Falls behind 2-0. Top of the order is due up next. Mariners were able to work out of a jam in the 6th. They'll have to do it again here in the 7th. Almost to the backstop. Wow. Cal Raleigh maybe saving a run right there. 3-0.
Without maybe. This is such a hard pitch. There's no chance that Cal Raleigh has an opportunity to slide in front of that and block it. All you can do as a catcher in that situation with that velocity is to pick it like you're an infielder.
One out, second and third. 4-pitch walk. Bases are loaded. Does set up a chance for a double play. TJ Friedl, the batter. Now Vargas has been a very good ground ball pitcher this year. Bags packed, one out. He would love a ground ball right at somebody here.
Now it kind of needs to be right at somebody with Friedl's speed.
One-0. A strike on the edge at 98. Trent Thornton now up and warming in the Mariners bullpen. Right-handed Espinal is due up next, and then De La Cruz. The 1-1. Fly ball softly hit. Mastrobuoni underneath it. Dunn is on his way home. The play at the plate is not in time. 2 outs but a 1-run game. Sacrifice fly by Friedl.
Yeah, Miles Mastrobuoni does a pretty good job of getting behind it. You see he's using his momentum as he catches it and comes through it. Throws a nice one hop, but it's to the first base side. Maybe if that throw is perfect, he gets him. But a nice job by Miles.
That one-out walk comes around to score.
I feel like we've been saying that a lot. I mean, it's just way too many walks that have touched home for the Mariners.
Mariners still hold the lead. 2 outs, runners on the corners. Here is Espinal. De La Cruz on deck. Thornton warming up. McLean easily gets into second base. Two and 0. That's on the edge. It does not get the call. 3 balls, no strikes. Fraley, the tying run is at third. McLean, go ahead run stands at second. Base hit can give the Reds the lead. 3-0 pitch. They walked him. And that's going to be it for Vargas.
Yeah, unfortunately, the thing that he has been so good at this season, throwing strikes, keeping them off the base paths with free passes rather, and he's just not able to do it today. Couldn't find it.
Well, Trent Thornton's coming in, and he will inherit a mess. Bases are loaded. Mariners clinging to a 1-run lead in the bottom of the 7th. Trent Thornton has come out of Dan Wilson's bullpen. He will face Elly De La Cruz, and the Reds' young superstar will bat here with the bases loaded, and the Mariners up a run. And Dan right now hoping that Thornton can go an inning plus and hold on to this lead, trying to find a way to get it to Munoz. But first things first, you got to get out of this one. Runners all around, 2 outs. Good start.
Best pitch in baseball right there. Strike 1.
Now Trent has been stung by the fly ball at times this year. Cal really trying to hold that, shaking his head. You can see that clear as day. He wanted that as a strike. Instead, it's 1-1. De La Cruz on base 3 times already today. Thornton ahead, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bags packed, 2 outs. A 1-run lead in the 7th. 1-2. Strike 3 called. Center cut on a platter, and it ice freezes De La Cruz to get the Mariners out of a bases loaded jam in the 7th.
One-run lead going to the 8th inning, and they have 9 of the top 100 prospects in baseball, and Type not on that list. I should say not yet. He is homer now for Everett in back-to-back games. That is home run number 2 for him. And so center field for the year this year, and Type again. Certainly knocking on the door to get in that top 100, Aaron.
Now, Pete, one of the 3 first-round draft picks from a couple of years ago for the Mariners, and yeah, moving from shortstop now to center field this season. Williamson leads it off. Fouls that back. Tony Santillan is up on the mound for the Reds. Second time we're seeing him in this series.
Yeah, mostly, and I mean mostly, you are going to get the 4-seam fastball nearly 70% of the time. Also has the slider, and that slider is really a big differential, 10 miles per hour slower.
One-two. Took a big swing at a fastball up and in. Trevino has taken over behind home plate. Number of changes for the Reds as we open up the 8th inning. McLean now at second as Lux moves from second to third.
And that's not something he does often. Yesterday was just his 2nd career start at third base. So that's not a position that he plays very often.
On the ground through the right side. Williamson picks up a base hit to begin things in the 8th inning.
His bat control is really something to marvel at. I mean, I was watching the sequencing. He went 96 up and in. He covered it, hit slider away, and then he comes back and tries to bust him in, but he is able to fight it off to the right side. I mean, his bat control is really good.
He is aboard for Dylan Moore. Now the Mariners would love to find a way to get that run back.
Did I mention that Ben Williamson is one of 3 people on the team that has not stolen a base yet?
What a series for Dylan. Most hits of any series in his career. Line and a tough luck out. Lux right there. And Dylan, who has just continued to hit the ball so hard.
Yeah, he hits it so hard, and I think that was actually really helpful to Williamson over on the other side, because he really didn't have time to get going towards second base and get picked off at first.
And that was 101 off the bat from Dylan Moore. 1 out, 1 on. Mastrobuoni the batter. This is into the crowd for strike 1. Pizzarno is warming up in the Mariners bullpen. I thought there was a chance that we might see Thornton for 1+ to have him get 4 outs, the final out of the 7th, and then work the 8th. But looks like Dan is thinking Pizzarno in the 8th. Try to get things to Munoz in the 9th. Mariners not much wiggle room here, none at all actually, just a 1-run lead. Ball and a strike. Mariners scored all 4 of their runs in the 4th and 5th innings. Raley's 2-run home run, the big swing that tied the game of the 4th. Foul ball. Another 1-2. Line down the right field line, but foul. Williamson a lead at first base. 2-2. Mastrobuoni a couple of walks this afternoon. The one out he made in the 4th, he saw 7 pitches. That was the 7th pitch of this at bat. I'll tell you what, he has made the most of his at bats so far this year.
Yeah, one of 3 guys on this roster hitting over 300 this season.
Pitch number 8. Williamson safe. One out, 1 on, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Another lengthy at bat here for Mastrobuoni. Another move, and Williamson safe again. Way outside, and Mastrobuoni walks for the 3rd time. Mariners with a little bit of traffic here. 1 out and 2 on.
Yeah, good at bat by Miles Mastrobuoni. He fell behind 1-2 and then just started to fight from that point on. Fouled off several pitches and works a walk.
JP the batter. And Trevino on his way out. This is a run the Mariners really want to pick up. Obviously, you want to add on whenever you can, but especially in this ballpark, you don't feel great with a 1-run lead in the 8th and possibly the 9th inning as well. You've got JP batting here, then the top of the order. Julio's next. Polanco would follow. Mariners looking for their first hit in this one with a runner in scoring position. Down the right field line. Is it fair? It is fair. Dunks in. Williamson rounds 3rd on his way home. And J.P. Crawford has extended the Mariners lead. It's 5-3 in the 8th inning. A big knock from the Mariners shortstop.
The Mariners are talking about whether or not they're hunting or they're fighting, and you saw Mastrobuoni fighting to get that walk, and then you see J.P. Crawford with a 0-0 count, and he just jumps on the first fastball he can do damage with and hits it down the right field line for a double. It's just a huge run for the Mariners in that situation. Hopefully they can get another productive out here.
Infield about middle depth. The first pitch strike to Julio. Mariners now have him 2nd and 3rd. Mastrobuoni at 3rd base. JP the double. Oh, and 2. Two-run lead now for the Mariners. Trying to get even more here. Julio a single and a run scored back in the 5th. He has twice flown out to center. Mastrobuoni at 3rd, Crawford at 2nd. Straightens him up again. Reds have their bullpen moving around. Popped up. Oh, Santillan will give way to De La Cruz. Looks like the Reds have a lefty up. Suter. And of course, Polanco is due up. So yeah, Tito's coming out here. We saw Jorge stand in on a lefty yesterday, but different situation here with the Mariners threatening with 2 in scoring position and 2 outs. So Francona making a call to the pen. We got a pitching change. J.P. Crawford with a clutch base hit for the Mariners to extend the lead to 2. Again, this game on the bench has already contributed off the bench today. In fact, he's the first Mariner to start a career with a 3-game hit streak since Kyle Lewis did it back in 2019. Former Rookie of the Year. Mariners have added on, looking for more. 5-3, 2 outs, 2 on, top of the 8th. As the lefty Brent Suter comes on, he will face a pinch hitter in Mitch Garver. Sounds like Polanco is improving a little bit, batting right-handed, but still not there, obviously.
Yes, I talked to him about how close he is. He thought it was a matter of days, but they're not going to rush that. Was curious how he is basically, going to keep his right-handed timing going. He said he's standing in against the machine, and then he is getting some gentle cuts right-handed off a tee.
Garver ahead. 2 balls and a strike. Cal Raleigh would be next. Good take just up above the zone. 3-1. Mastroboni at third. J.P. Crawford at second. Fly ball left field to the base of the warning track, and the catch is made there for out number 3. A couple of men are left, but a big run comes in thanks to J.P. Crawford. Run lead, and Edward Bizzardo is on to spin the 8th. This is not something we have seen yet this season from Bizzardo, pitching in the 8th inning with the lead, or with a 2-run lead. But he's on here to face the middle third of the order.
Slider, 4-seam combination, also has a sinker. Every once in a great while, he will show them the split and the cutter.
First pitch strike. Gets ahead 0-2 on Austin Hayes. Mariners have seen firsthand a dangerous hitter. He's homered twice in this series, including today. So Trent Thornton got the final out in the 7th. Was able to leave the bases loaded with a big strikeout to De La Cruz. And that was on the corner. That was a good pitch. Doesn't get the call. But Dan Wilson using Thornton for just the 1 out, now turning things over to Bizzardo in the 8th. Out to center field. Julio drifting underneath it. And an easy out, number 1.
Going back to Trent Thornton and the job he did against Elly De La Cruz, who, yes, we know he's got some swing and miss in his swing. Didn't get the bat off his shoulder. Just the sequence of a curveball completely slowed down his bat, and then blew a fastball by him, and he couldn't even get the swing off. Good sequence.
Now, Pizarro was used so much early on this season for the Mariners. He pitched in 5 of the Mariners' first 10 games. Gets the corner, 0-2. Second time we're seeing him in this series. Pitched in game 1. Broken bat, a soft line drive, and it's over Williamson's head. Lux is aboard a 1-out single. Tying run coming to the plate. That's his second hit today.
Yeah, that's just a hard luck hit, and a really nice job by Ben Williamson, who actually went back on this one like he was an outfielder. Took a drop step, and this is just a couple feet too far.
Candelario takes low for ball 1. Two and 0. Really behind now. 3 balls, no strikes to Candelario.
No, and this is a batter where if you get ahead of him, he will chase out of the zone. His 23 strikeouts now on the season.
Well, just got a piece of that pitch. 3-1. No team in baseball has played more games decided by 3 runs or fewer than the Mariners. Another close one here in the 8th. 1 out, 1 on. And that is a strike. Upper inside corner. What a game changer that call is. It was a strike.
Yep.
Pizarro's 3-2. And it almost hit him. He walks him. And the Reds have 2 on with 1 out. So a soft single and now a walk, and the Reds threatening with Blake Dunn coming up here. It's a bit of a call. Strike 1 as Cal keeps that a strike, or at least makes it look like one. Very close pitch. Lux the runner at second base. Candelario at first. Go ahead is at the plate. That one got overcooked a little bit. 1-1.
Really good speed with Blake Dunn. You do not have a lot of time to waste with him at all.
Double play would end the inning. It's 1-2 now. Done not a whole lot of at-bats early on this year. He has struck out a lot in his limited opportunities.
And you see with 2 strikes, he will choke up. He's about 3 inches up on the bat right now, just trying to put the ball in play.
A little emergency hack on that one.
How about back in AAA Louisville, Aaron, he reached 32.6 feet per second. He is fast.
Well, he doesn't have to square it up to find his way to first base.
And once he got to 2 strikes, Williamson over at third got to back up several steps, but not all the way to the cut of the grass where we often see him.
First and second, 1 out. Pizzardo, another 1-2. Overthrows that one too. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Reds threatening here in the home 8th inning. Tying run at first, go ahead run at the plate. Keeps missing away to Dunn. Back-to-back 3-ball counts. Nobody in Dan's bullpen right now. Big pitch here. 3-2. He lost him. All the misses in practically the same spot. And the bases are loaded for the 2nd straight inning for the Reds.
And it didn't really matter what he was throwing there, 4-seam, the sinker, or the slider. He was pulling all of them to the glove side.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Jake Fraley will bat. All kinds of traffic for the Reds in these last few innings.
And you look at this bullpen, you know, and one thing they've been so good at is limiting free passes. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 walks already since the bullpen took over for Emerson Hancock.
Yeah, far too many in too short of a time. Bases are loaded for Fraley, the former Mariner. Tying run at second, go ahead run at first base. First pitch to Fraley. Goes after it, strike 1. Hammered out to right field. Jake Fraley at the wall, and it's gone for a grand slam. He has flipped the script, and the Reds have the lead.
Jake Fraley is that type of hitter where he's just always looking to do damage to that pull side. I mean, how many balls have we seen him hit into the seats foul? And I was worried about this matchup right as he came to the plate, and I was thinking everywhere right now that Pizzardo is missing is just right in that Fraley loop zone.
Ball 1 to McLean. Pizzardo ahead, the 1-2. Mastrobuoni in right field for out number 2. Here is Friedel back to the top of the order. Now just simply too many base runners in these final few innings for the Reds. Mariners were able to get out of a couple of jams. They stranded 2 in the 6th. They left the bases loaded in the 7th. Thanks to Trent Thornton's strikeout of De La Cruz. But a soft single and then back-to-back walks loaded the bases for Fraley, and he made the Mariners pay.
And Trent Thornton's, one of those guys that, one, he's been in a lot of these situations before, and then 2, he has that arsenal where he can go through the Cincinnati Reds lineup with both the right-handers and the left-handers.
To right field, Mastrobuoni has to play it on a hop. Yeah, to your point, Lux a lefty, Candelario the switch hitter hitting lefty, and then Fraley, of course, left-handed bat who hit it out. This is Trevino's spot now in the order. He came off the bench. Now 30-pitch inning for Pizzardo. The only other time that Pizzardo had pitched in the 8th inning this year, the Mariners had lead greater than 4 runs, or at least 4 runs. JP's got it, and that retires the side. Jake Fraley, the former Mariner, with a grand slam, the 2nd of his career, and his first in a uniform other than the Mariners. He has given the Reds the lead. Is on Apple TV Plus. Brian Wu will get the ball. Gilbert and then Castillo Saturday and Sunday. Making our way towards Rogers Center after this one is over with. Here is Cal Raleigh. Mariners down to their final 3 outs. Emilio Pagan, who's been so good this year, his first pitch misses for ball 1. Second time in the series seen Pagan, who has taken over as the Reds closer. Fly ball right field. Cal Raleigh just continues to absolutely mash. It is his 6th home run in the last 6 games. He is on fire. It's a 1-run game in the 9th inning.
You need one, actually you need 2, but you need one, and you get one from Cal Raleigh. And his stance, if you look at it, he has tightened up his stance. He is not as wide right now from the left side. We saw his home run from the right side, much wider base, but he's short, quick, and compact right now from that left side, and torpedoes away.
Strike 1 to Arozarena.
I mean, that is such a game changer to right now all of a sudden reset that game where you're just playing for 1 run.
This is out to left field. Scalded by Arozarena. 2 swings, and this game is tied in the 9th inning. Cal Raleigh and Randy Arozarena go back to back, and we are right back where we started.
How about Randy? A couple of walks in this game, kind of a sleepy game so far from him, but he sees a cutter that he likes and he jumps on it.
Here is Solano. Solano off the end of the bat out to right field. Fraley makes the catch for out number 1.
Okay, so Randy fouls off the first pitch. He threw a cutter outside, tried to come back with that same cutter on the inside half of the plate. And Randy was like, I recognize that pitch. And I like it.
His 4th home run this year. He and Cal go back to back to tie the game. Strike 1 to Ben Williamson. 1 out, top of the 9th inning. Oh, and 2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. 2 outs. Munoz and Legumina warming up inside the Mariners bullpen. Here is Dylan Moore. All tied to the 9th inning. He looks at a first pitch strike. Now that high fastball working from Pagan today. 0-2. He's got some swings and misses on that. Reds bullpen has been so good recently, and Pagan in particular. Dylan behind. 0-2 coming. And he puts them away for out number 3. Now the Mariners go back to back for the first time this year. Cal Raleigh and Randy Arozarena. Brand new ball game. Cal's third home run this series. And then Randy over the wall in left field. We move on to the bottom of the ninth, all tied up. Of the ninth now. The Mariners were down to their final 3 outs and until those two guys swung the bat. Casey Legumina, the former Red, is on the mound. Made his Mariners debut earlier this series, facing De La Cruz.
We talked about how this was kind of like a really full circle moment for Casey Legumina, making his debut on Jackie Robinson Day, and then to come back here in Cincinnati where he made his major league debut on Jackie Robinson Day. And then he added one more wrinkle for me. He said he struck out Hayes, who he was designated assignment for.
Well, he'll be facing Hayes again. He's on deck. The 1-2. Strike 3 called. He rings up Elly De La Cruz to begin the bottom of the ninth inning. Here is Austin Hayes. A run wins it for the Reds. Fly ball right field. Mastrobuoni sizing it up. He makes the catch for out number 2. Hayes went oppo back in the first. Yeah, you can tell he just missed it. That's what he's thinking. Trying to get this game to the 10th inning. Here is the former Mariner prospect just recalled today, Noelvi Marte. Batting for Lux. Encarnacion Strand was placed on the injured list today. Marte called up in his place. Marte, a former top prospect in the Mariners system, third baseman, 23 years old now. Marte in the Luis Castillo deal back in the summer of 22. Kind of a wild swing, just got a piece of it. Marte missing a chunk of last year because of a PED suspension. Has played in just barely over 100 games in the big leagues. Legumina ahead 0-2.
good idea. He just wasn't able to execute it. He struck out Elly De La Cruz on that changeup, and he had Hayes, flying out to right field. Then he gets Marte up with that fastball. Great idea with the changeup. Just missed on location.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. That was very close, borderline pitch, and it goes Marte's way. Three and 2. The payoff from Legumina. Ground ball chopping to JP. Long throw on a skip. Solano got him in time. Let's see if the Reds want a challenge or not. Tito waiting to hear from his video room. Now they will not. Legumina a 1-2-3 ninth, and we are going to the 10th. Tied in Cincinnati. Swings for the Mariners, Cal Raleigh and then Randy Arozarena. Back-to-back home runs in the 9th inning to tie the game and now force extras.
Just think, Aaron, mentally, to have the Reds take the lead and to do it the way they did with a grand slam, and then the Mariners come right back, and Cal Raleigh jacks that home run. That's the big one on the four-seam fastball. And then while Emilio Pagan is still trying to process that, Randy jumps all over another one.
We are in the 10th. Graham Ashcraft, a former starter, now turned reliever on the mound. Mastrobuoni drops down the bunt. It's bobbled by Ashcraft, and everybody is safe. Dylan Moore, the automatic runner, is into third. Mastrobuoni into first.
You know, there were a couple other times this game where I was like, man, I want to see Miles, drop down a bunt here. You remember when Dylan Moore led off the 6th inning? I'm like, oh, this would be a great time to bunt. And I was like, maybe Miles isn't a good bunter. Hey, this works.
Runners on the corners, nobody out. And here is J.P. Crawford. Big RBI double his last at-bat. Mariners threatening right away. Runners on the corners, nobody out, top of the 10th. He pops the bunt. Trevino chases after this, but it's off the screen.
And JP looking to get a base hit on that one. You see the third baseman back, and he tries to take advantage of it.
Oh, 1. A big swing and a foul. Got off his foot, it looks like. Lower half someplace. It's 0-2. He's really feeling that one.
Yeah, that one's going to take a while to shake off. And the other reason why I think that was a good idea with the bunt, though, is Noelvi Marte, who just came into the game at third base, and maybe take advantage of him sleeping just a little bit. I don't know if he got the toe.
Now JP says he's all right. Dillon at third, Mastrobuoni at first. Ground ball, De La Cruz ranging, backhand, Dylan Moore scores. De La Cruz has no throw. Now the Mariners have kept it on the infield, and they've kept the line moving, and they have taken a 10th inning lead. It's 8-7.
Just a great at-bat by J.P. Crawford. And the Mariners have simplified things. You're either hunting or you are fighting. And he gets down 0-2. He is not looking to pull the ball anymore. He is just trying to put the ball in play. Slaps it to the left side, and with Ellie playing up the middle, that's an easy base hit for J.P. Just smart. Smart at-bat.
Julio fouls it away for strike one. Mastrobuoni at second, Crawford at first now. Still nobody out. Everybody's in between there. Mastrobuoni thought about it a couple of times and retreats.
And it's hard when you're out at second because that ball goes right behind the catcher, so you have no perception on really how far that's getting away from him. He made the right decision. And if you hesitate, go back. That is the rule. You hesitate, go back. But right here, I mean, this is an at-bat where Julio has to find a way to get the ball to the right side. You got runners on first and second, no out. Hit the ball to the right side. The Mariners have had some really good and productive at-bats today. Thinking about that Solano sac fly back in the 5th.
On the ground, left side to second one, on to first. It is not in time. Julio too fast.
And again, Julio's job right here is to find a way to get that runner over to third, and with his speed, it's just so hard to double up.
Second time up for Mitch Garver. Just missing upstairs, ball one. One out, runners on the corners for the Mariners. Julio at first, Mastrobuoni the runner at third. They're keeping an eye on Julio over there.
They want to try to keep that double play in order.
Missing high again, 2-0. There goes Julio. Now, wouldn't it be something if the Mariners can hold on to this one and win this game? Wouldn't it be something if the Mariners bats could bail out the Mariners arms, right? We don't see that a whole lot in recent time.
Oh, it's just so hard too when you have them take the lead like they did in the bottom of the 8th inning. I mean, you got 3 outs to work with and try to find a way to get 2 runs.
Julio bolting for second again, pitches in the dirt, and Julio easily swipes second base. That's his 5th stolen base this year.
Yeah, pretty impressive and gutsy pick right there by Trevino at home plate. I mean, this ball in the dirt, and he's not trying to block that. He's trying to pick that, throw out Julio, but wisely hangs on to it.
Gets the Mariners out of a double play situation. The infield now has to come in for the Reds. Second and third, one away. A 3-1 pitch. And the bases are loaded. If you are the Blue Jays, by the way, whoever your advanced scout is very worried. I mean, this is not what you were hoping to see as the Mariners come marching into town. A scalding hot Cal Raleigh. Cal, who has tortured the Blue Jays more than almost any other player in recent years. His first major league postseason at bat came at Rogers Center, and he homered then too. That was back in the wild card round a couple of years ago.
Yeah, this is your 2025 version of the Seattle Mariners. They have done a much better job of not striking out as much, of putting the ball in play. We're seeing some productive outs, just all up and down the lineup.
Cal Raleigh's mother, who joined Brad earlier today from the seats, is she's been on some work calls today. She might have to put somebody on hold. Trying to multitask here. Say my son's up in extra innings with the bases loaded. Cal 2 home runs last night, a home run already today. He tried to change his mind, it looked like, at strike one. One out, bases loaded. Mariners have a chance to really open this one up. Oh, and 2. Steps out, calls time. He's got Mastroboni at third, Julio Speed at second, and Garver the runner at first base. He got him swinging. 2 outs.
That slider worked the first 2 times so well on Cal. He went with it 3 straight sliders from Ashcraft.
Upstairs, ball 1 to Arozarena. He was on base 4 times in yesterday's game. He's been aboard 3 times today. A couple of walks and that game-tying home run in the 9th inning. He takes all the way, takes in the dirt, 2-0. Now, Randy already has 1 memorable bases loaded walk this year. Ahead 2-0. He fouls that off Trevino, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Randy also a grand slam in that same game. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Taking all the way, and it's a strike down and away on the corner. 2-2. Now the Mariners certainly would love to add on more than just the 1 run. 2-2. Dan Wilson has Munoz ready for the bottom of the 10th inning. 6, 7, and 8 hitters due up. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Check swing, foul. Another 2-2. And that was a good pitch. Trevino was a step towards the dugout. It goes Randy's way. It's a full count. Mariners will try to capitalize on that. Bases loaded now, a full count. Here's the payoff. Ground ball up the middle, and it's past De La Cruz into center field. Mastrobuoni scores. Julio touches home plate. Randy is safe at second base, and he has opened things up in the 10th inning. It's a 10-7 Mariners lead. What a 9th and 10th inning for Randy Arozarena.
And he sees a lot of pitches in this at bat. That is the 8th pitch that he sees, and every single time you see a pitch, you just get a little bit more on it. He takes a cutter right back up the middle, and again spits on the 2-2 pitch to take it to 3-2. It was also a cutter. Puts this one in play.
And steps Solano. Well, it caught a break with that one pitch that could have ended the inning, and the very next offering drives in 2. Ground ball, De La Cruz deep in the hole. He bobbles it, has to rush the throw. It's dropped at first base, and Garver scores. Man, it has been a nightmare of a series defensively for one of the game's really bright young stars in Elly De La Cruz. 11-7 Mariners.
You know, it's hard to tell, you know, with Elly. Is this focus, or is he sort of getting in his head? But he kind of sits back on this one just a little bit and allows that ball to play him instead of coming up and really choosing his hop. And we've seen him a couple times just being really passive, and I don't know if it's just because he's just so incredibly talented that he can sit back and wait on these, but a couple times they've eaten him up. Huge run for the Mariners.
11-7 now with 2 outs in the 10th inning. Williamson, here's another chance for De La Cruz. He handles this one just fine. And some cheers in the crowd as the inning comes to an end. So we move to the bottom of the 10th inning. Now the Mariners now an 11-7 lead.
Munoz reaching back, firing that fire in his arm.
He is a weapon.
Swing and a miss. The slider.
Swing and a miss, and a fastball at 99 miles an hour.
That is just absolute filth.
Now the Mariners now in the driver's seat in this game. Andres Munoz, all-star closer for the Mariners, is on to get the final 3 outs with an 11-7 lead in the bottom of the 10th.
And he could not have been much better for the Mariners. I mean, he's just so difficult to square up, and he's been doing nothing but just beating balls into the ground.
Marte is the automatic runner at second base for the Reds. Candelario tries to check. He goes around.
I mean, that's just such a daunting task. I mean, when you've got to somehow, some way, in 3 outs, get 4 runs, and you're facing Andres Munoz, I mean, that's just, it just feels impossible.
And Cal is really down. That come up and looked like it got him up by the collarbone is where he held initially. They get underneath his pad somehow.
I hope he's able to shake this off. It does not take much if the ball gets you square on the collarbone.
Ooh.
Oh, that's, yeah, I think that just got him on the throat, and that's gonna, that looked like soft tissue instead of one of his collarbones. That hurts. I mean, he might, you take that like that, it takes a second to get your breath. And it really takes something to shake up Cal.
I mean, he really is incredible. The amount of equity that he built up in that clubhouse 2 years ago when he played with a torn ligament in his thumb that required some significant surgery at the end of the season and never said a word about it, played through everything. Back to it here. And Munoz says, let me throw another slider. I guess, I mean, to be fair, Cal called it, but team player right there behind home plate. You know, I'll never forget as this takes a chunk out of Candelario. Well, the Mariners had that dramatic come from behind win to win the wild card round 2 years ago in Toronto after game 2 when it was all over with and we went down towards the field to the clubhouse. The clubhouse was almost empty at this point with one exception. Cal Raleigh was still in there, and he had so much bandage and tape and ice and I mean, who knows what was underneath all that on his hand where he had the thumb injury. I mean, he had basically a boxing glove of tape around it, just trying to I don't know, limit swelling or whatever it was, but this was the post-game routine after that game. And of course, he was instrumental in that series win. Check swing, and he goes. There is out number 1. But for Cal, that was just, it looked like another day for him.
Another slider, and this one not quite in the dirt. There's just so much movement on that pitch, and you can't check his swing. But yeah, you know, talking about everything that he went through with his thumb is he has, you know, completely changed the way he actually receives the ball and how he has his hand in the glove. He used to have his pointer finger outside of the glove. Now his pointer finger's inside the glove, and he has moved his fingers all the way over to the left so that he is not beating up his thumb so much.
99 on the edge. Well, that was one of the storylines for Cal last year, was when he heisted Sebi Zavala's glove because it was a larger glove. It allowed his finger positioning to become more comfortable receiving all those pitches. Here is out number 2. Solano handles that. Marte into third. The Mariners 1 out away from a series win. Well, this one, you know, it started off obviously a little bit rough for the Mariners. Right away, 4 batters into things. Hayes, a 2-run home run off of Hancock as Cal goes out to the mound. And then Emerson really settled down. He was terrific overall today. He got through the order twice. He went 5 innings, no walks. And at that point, you're thinking, man, this really couldn't have gotten much better. The Mariners handed a lead to the bullpen in the 6th inning, and just too many walks from the bullpen, especially those last 2 innings. And then the Mariners down to their final 3 outs with back-to-back home runs in the top of the 9th to tie it up with Cal Raleigh and Randy Arozarena.
I am just adoring the ways that the Mariners are finding ways to win games here in this series against the Reds.
A 4-run 10th. It was this man, Jake Fraley's grand slam in the 8th that gave the Reds, little did we know then, a very short-lived lead. He is now the final hope for the Reds. He swings and misses at a backdoor slider.
And I like that location. Like I said, I mean, Fraley, all he's looking to do is find something middle in that he can crush.
Two outs, runner at third base. Fly ball got in on his hands a little bit. Shallow right center field. Julio is there. He puts the squeeze on to complete a Mariners series win in Cincinnati, and one of the great wins early this season by the Seattle Mariners.
Let's not forget, we're going back to Emerson Hancock and what he gave this team through 5 innings. Yes, he gave up the early home run, and he had to be thinking, oh no, here we go again. But he doesn't. He steadies himself. He gets through 5. He gets 4 punch outs. The bullpen, like I said, they didn't really get it done, but I love the fact that the offense came and picked up the pitching staff. The pitching staff's been so good, but it's the offense today that ends up coming through. So many productive outs, so many smart at-bats, and trust in the guy behind you. Do your job and then pass it on.
11 runs, 13 hits for the Mariners. Man, what a great feeling. Mariners losing game 1. You really felt like to have a good road trip here, Toronto, Boston. We've talked about this. You really needed to win this series and to give yourself a little margin for error in the next 2. And it's exactly what they end up doing. Maybe not in the way that they drew it up, but it worked out today. And the Mariners, you're right, to see the offense pick up the pitching certainly was nice to see.
I love the fight. I mean, you think about Cal and Randy, what they were able to do in the 9th inning, back-to-back home runs against Emilio Pagan, who has been so good this year. It was special.
Mariners win it 11-7. Down to the field and Brad.
All right, Aaron, thank you very much. Here with J.P. Crawford, who definitely played a game today, my friend. Hey, let's go to that at-bat in the 10th inning. You're down 0-2, you just foul a ball off your foot. The mentality to be able to put the ball just in play, what's the thought process? What are you trying to do at that point in the at-bat?
Put the ball in play. You know, give a chance for Demo to score and, you know, give us a run.
You had a couple of singles today, a couple of RBIs. A really good series for you. Looks like you're swinging the bat a lot better. Are you close to where you want to be offensively?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's all mental for me right now, and, you know, just going up there just, you know, free. You know, that's been helping me a lot. Just going up there, not trying to think too much. Just go be you, man. Just, you know, don't get caught up in all the bull and all this stuff, and yeah, just be yourself.
Well, you guys were yourselves in this series. A really good come-from-behind win. Jake Fraley hits the grand slam in the 8th. And then to see Cal and Randy go back-to-back to tie this thing up. I mean, just what a lift for you guys, right?
Yeah, Cal's been unbelievable. And, you know, Randy, he's always going to be Randy. You know, clutch as it gets. And then, yeah, you know, we're right back in this thing. You know, this year we're never out of it. It's really fun to see us fight. You know, take a big blow, but come right back up, get up, and, you know, punch right back. 11 runs, 13 hits. What does it mean for you guys, the team, the offense, to know that, hey, we can score some runs to win if we have to? Yeah, absolutely. You know, the game's not over till the 3rd out and whenever the game ends. So we're never out of it. We know we're never out of it, and that's our mentality right now.
Hey, a big series win to start this road trip. We appreciate the time. Go say hi to your daughter and family in town here. This is fun to watch them, isn't it?
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, JP Crawford getting it done. Thank you, my friend. Enjoy it. Yes. JP gets it done, and they get to dance again. I like that. And their first road series win of the year. JP clutch again. They add on big time with the 10th. 11-7, the final from Cincinnati. We're just getting started.